Okay, so we'll discuss about that adrenal gland. Adrenal gland. Here, one pair of adrenal glands are present. Where they are present? At the anterior part of each kidney. Okay, at the anterior part of this each kidney, that adrenal gland is present. Adrenal gland having two parts. This outer part, that is nothing but adrenal cortex, outside located tissue, at the inner side part, that is nothing but in adrenal medulla, centrally located tissue. Okay, this adrenal medulla will secrete catecholamines, catecholamines, that catecholamines that are adrenaline, which is otherwise called epinephrine, noradrenaline, which is otherwise called norepinephrine. These are all catecholamines. They are that are rapidly secreted in response to stress, in response to that stress or any kind during emergency. Okay, so we call these catecholamines, adrenaline, noradrenaline, are as emergency hormones or flight hormones or fight hormones. What it will do? So generally they will increase that alertness during emergency. Alertness, it will increase. Pupillary dilation, it will increase. Piloerection, that erection of hair on skin. Sweating, excessive sweating will occur. Heartbeat will increase. Strength of the heart contraction will increase. Rate of respiration will increase. Okay, so rate of respiration will increase when these catecholamines are secreted by that adrenal medulla. Then this catecholamine stimulates breakdown of glycogen. So generally where this glycogen is present in muscle and the liver, here the glycogen stimulates the breakdown of catecholamines stimulate the breakdown of glycogen. As a result, that glycogen is converted to glucose. This glycogen is converted to glucose. Okay, so that glucose increases in blood glucose level increases. Okay, so catecholamines, along with increasing blood glucose level, it also stimulates that breakdown of lipids and proteins also. Next, here adrenal cortex, adrenal cortex having three layers: zona reticularis, which is that is inner layer; zona fasciculata, that is middle layer; and zona glomerulosa, that is outer layer. Here the central cortex that will secretes corticoids. Okay, that will that is nothing but corticoids. Two types of corticoids are there, that are glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. These glucocorticoids, that means which are involved in that carbohydrate metabolism, mainly in the glucose metabolism, carbohydrate metabolism, mainly in that glucose metabolism. Here main glucocorticoid, that is cortisol, whereas mineralocorticoid, which regulates the balance of water and electrolytes in our body. Okay, so that is the main mineralocorticoid, that is aldosterone. Here, coming to the functions of this cortisol, here that are like gluconeogenesis, that means glucose is formed. Okay, and lipolysis, breakdown of lipids, breakdown of proteins, proteolysis, cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids. Amino acids enter into the cell and that are utilized, and these are all involved in that involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system and kidney functions. Okay, so whenever this cortisol is secreted, it will suppress the immune reaction and it will act as an anti-inflammatory hormone. Okay, and it is stimulate that RBC production. That means erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis is stimulated by this glucocorticoid, that is cortisol. Then coming to the mineralocorticoid, the main mineralocorticoid, that is aldosterone, here mainly act on renal tubules and stimulates reabsorption of sodium and water. Reabsorption of sodium and water, at the same time excretion of potassium and phosphate ions. Opposite. Sodium is reabsorbed, potassium is excreted. Water is reabsorbed, phosphate ions are excreted. Okay. Okay. Then like that it will helps in maintaining the electrolytes, body fluids and body fluid volumes, that osmotic pressure and blood pressure. Okay, by aldosterone. Then coming to that adrenal here adrenal cortex secretes some more small amount of adrenogenic or androgenic steroids. Here, what is the function of this androgenic steroids? That will play a role in growth of axial hair, pubic hair and facial hair. Okay. Then underproduction of hormones by adrenal cortex. That means that cortical hormones is not produced in proper. Okay, that will affect carbohydrate metabolism and cause acute weakness and fatigue, easily tiredness, that leads to that Addison's disease. That means if there is a malfunctioning in the adrenal cortex, that leads to Addison's disease. So underproduction of hormones by adrenal cortex, that will affect carbohydrate metabolism, that leads to Addison's disease. Then coming to the pancreas. Pancreas will act as both exocrine as well as endocrine gland. Let us discuss that endocrine gland, that pancreatic endocrine gland. Okay, so that endocrine part is having the cells, that is nothing but aisles of Langerhans. Almost 1 to 2 million cells are present. That is about only 1 to 2% of pancreatic tissue. Okay, so here these aisles of Langerhans, two types of cells are present, that are alpha cells and beta cells. This alpha cells will secrete glucagon, that is a peptide hormone. This beta cells will secrete insulin, that is also a peptide hormone. Let's see how this glucagon will show the action. Here, this glucagon will act on liver and it will stimulate that glycogenolysis, that means breakdown of glycogen. This glycogen is converted to glucose. Okay, so that glucose enter into blood and it also stimulate gluconeogenesis, that means formation of glucose. That glucose also enter into blood and it will reduce cellular glucose uptake and their utilization. So generally glucose which is present in the blood enter into cell and utilization will occur. Here that will reduce, that will stop that entry of glucose from blood into the cell. That means automatically glucose level in blood increases. So whenever glucose is secreted, blood glucose level increases. That condition is nothing but hyperglycemia, and we call this glucagon as hyperglycemic hormone. Coming to the insulin, in antagonistic to that glucagon. Okay, this insulin acts on both liver and adipose tissue. Okay, so and it will enhances the glucose uptake and utilization. Whatever the blood glucose present in blood, that will enter into that cell, that is enhanced by this insulin, and their utilization is also promoted by this insulin. So as a result blood glucose level decreases. Blood glucose level decreases, and we call that condition as hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia. Here, another activity of insulin, that it will stimulate glycogenesis. That means conversion of glucose to glycogen. Conversion of glucose to glycogen. Okay, conversion of glucose to glycogen. So glycogenesis stimulated by insulin, gluconeogenesis stimulated by glucagon, glycogenesis stimulated by glucagon. Okay, both are antagonistic. So this glucose homeostasis in blood, that is maintained by both insulin and glucagon. Both insulin and glucagon. Okay, so if this hyperglycemia is in prolonged condition, that leads to diabetes mellitus. So what are the symptoms of this diabetes mellitus? Here, the loss of glucose through urine, and it will form some harmful compounds that are like ketone bodies. Okay, so through urine the glucose will loss. Okay, if we inject that insulin, it will stop it. It will increase the uptake of glucose by cells. As a result, in blood glucose level decrease, that will not escape through urine. Okay, like that. Then coming to that testis. So a pair of testis is present, that is present in scrotal sac, which is outside the abdomen, not in abdomen. This testis is present outside the abdomen in males. Here, this testis having dual functions. One is a primary sex organ, another one, that is a endocrine gland. As a primary sex organ, it is producing the sperms. Okay. Here, the testis is composed of two types of cells, that is seminiferous tubules and stromal and interstitial tissue. Okay. In between the seminiferous tubules, intertubular spaces are there. In these intertubular spaces, Leydig cells or interstitial cells are present. These cells will secrete that androgens. The main androgen, that is testosterone. Here, what is the main function of this testosterone? That will regulate that development and maturation and functions of that male accessory sex organs. What are the male accessory sex organs? That are like epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, and urethra. These are all this male sex accessory sex organs. Okay. Along with that, it will stimulate muscular growth and growth of facial hair, axial hair, and it will increase that aggressiveness. The main character, if we compare with that girls, here in case of males, low pitch of voice is there. Boys cannot speak louder than girls because of this androgens. Low pitch of voice is there. Okay, so and it will stimulate the spermatogenesis, formation of spermatozoa. It activates and it acts on that central nervous system and influences libido. Libido in the sense that male sexual behavior, winking of eye towards girls, teasing girls, like that. That influences libido character. And here it will produces anabolic effects on protein and carbohydrate metabolism. What testosterone will produce? That anabolic effects on protein and carbohydrate metabolism. Then coming to that ovary. Here ovary, a pair of ovaries located in abdomen. Testis outside the abdomen. Okay, so ovary will act as a female sex organ, and it is also produces hormones. The female sex organ, female primary sex organ, that will produce one ovum during each menstrual cycle. For one menstrual cycle, one ovum it will produce, one egg it will produce. Okay, so it will produce that estrogen and progesterone, which are steroid hormones. Here, let's see the ovary. Here in ovary, two parts, that are ovarian follicles and stromal tissue. This ovarian follicles during the growing condition, that growing ovarian follicle, that is having that ovum is producing in that. During the development of ovum in the growing ovarian follicle, that will secrete estrogen. So growing ovarian follicle will secrete estrogen. Okay, so once the ovulation occurred on 14th day of menstrual cycle, that ovum is released means that is that growing ovarian follicle is ruptured, and that ruptured follicle, that remnant of that ovarian follicle is converted to that corpus luteum. This corpus luteum will secrete mainly progesterone. Corpus luteum, that will secrete progesterone. Let's see the functions of this estrogen and progesterone. So estrogen, that will stimulate growth and activities of secondary females secondary sex organs and female secondary sex characters. Here, that will stimulate the development of growing ovarian follicles. Okay, growing ovarian follicles, which is secreting that estrogen. Okay, and the appearance of female secondary sex characters. So high pitch of voice. In case of males, androgens will promote low pitch of voice. In females, this estrogen will secrete high pitch of voice. Okay, and it will stimulate mammary gland development, and also it will regulate that female sexual behavior. Then coming to the progesterone. So progesterone main function is progesterone secreted by what? Corpus luteum, that will support that pregnancy. Okay, and also during the pregnancy it will act on mammary gland, and after the delivery it will stimulate the formation of alveoli. Here, alveoli in mammary gland, that are sac-like structures which will store that milk and will stimulate that milk secretion, that progesterone functions. Okay, next, hormones which are produced by tissues, so that are like heart, kidney and GIT, gastrointestinal tract. Here, let's see the heart, atrial wall of our heart, that will secrete atrial natriuretic factor, that we are calling that as ANF, peptide hormone. That is a peptide hormone that will decrease the blood pressure. So ANF will decrease the blood pressure. How it will decrease the blood pressure? Whenever blood pressure is more, then ANF is secreted. Once the ANF is secreted, it will cause dilation of blood vessels. So once the dilation of blood vessel is occurring, in the sense, reduce blood pressure. Okay. Then juxtaglomerular cells of kidney. Juxtaglomerular cells of kidney, that will produce a peptide hormone, erythropoietin. So which will stimulate that erythropoiesis. That means that erythropoiesis, in the sense, RBC synthesis, RBC production, that is promoted by this juxtaglomerular cells of kidney, which produces erythropoietin. Next, GIT, gastrointestinal tract. So different cells of this gastrointestinal tract will produce 4 hormones that are like gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin and gastric inhibitory peptide, GIP. Here, if you see the gastrin, that will act on gastric glands and stimulates HCl and pepsinogen release secretion from that gastric glands. Gastrin will stimulate gastric glands for the secretion of HCl and pepsinogen. Okay. Then secretin, it will act on exocrine pancreas and stimulate that secretion of water and bicarbonate ions. Okay. Whereas cholecystokinin CCK, we are representing with CCK, that will act on both pancreas and gallbladder. When it acts on pancreas, it will secrete pancreas will secrete pancreatic juice. When cholecystokinin acts on gallbladder, that gallbladder will secrete bile juice. This gastric inhibitory peptide hormone that will inhibit gastric secretion and its motility. Okay, so that will inhibit the gastric secretion, which is antagonistic to gastrin. Gastrin and gastric inhibitory peptide both are antagonistic. Okay, so along with that, some other non-endocrine tissue will secrete some growth factors. Growth factors. Here you have growth hormone by pituitary. So non-endocrine tissue will secrete growth factors. That growth factors is essential for normal growth of tissues and repairing and regeneration of the tissues. Okay. Then, so mechanism of hormone action. Mechanism of hormone action. Here, hormones that will bind to that specific receptors. Hormones that will bind to that specific receptors which are present on the target tissue and produce effects on target tissue and produce some effects on the target tissue. Okay, so here this hormone receptors is of two types. One is membrane receptors, another one is intracellular receptors. Membrane receptors in the sense hormone receptors present on the cell membrane of target cells. Whereas intracellular receptors in the sense hormone receptors present inside the cell, inside the target cell, mostly present on nucleus. Okay, so whenever that hormone will bind with that receptor, any receptor, that will form hormone receptor complex that leads to that biochemical changes in target tissue. Here, this hormone and receptor are very specific. Okay, once it is forming the hormone receptor complex that leads to certain biochemical changes in target tissue. On the basis of their chemical nature, these hormones are of different types that are like a peptide hormone or polypeptide hormone or protein hormone, that are insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormone and hypothalamic hormone. These are all protein hormones. Steroid hormones that are like cortisol, estrogen, estradiol, progesterone, okay, testosterone. These are all steroid hormones. Iodothyronines, thyroid hormones, T3 hormones, T4 hormones, like that. Amino acid derivatives, epinephrine, catecholamines are amino acid derivatives. How these hormones will show action? In the sense, here if you see that peptide hormones, protein hormones like FSH, like insulin, like glucagon, pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones, these are all protein hormones only. These protein hormones, this follicle stimulating hormone also, these protein hormones will come and bind on this cell membrane, here ovarian cell membrane. So here hormone receptor complex are formed at the cell membrane, and it will show some response that primary response that will generate a secondary messenger that are like a cyclic AMP, calcium, and this IP3. So like that, these are all secondary messengers. These secondary messengers will give some biochemical response. That biochemical response leads to physiological responses that are like ovarian growth if the hormone receptor complex form on that ovarian membrane, like that. Here in case of peptide hormones, hormone receptor complex formed on the cell membrane. Okay. Whereas the steroid hormones, here the hormone like estrogen, or like testosterone, or like cortisol, or like estradiol, or like progesterone. These are all what? Steroid hormones. They will show this type of mechanism. So this, for example, estrogen will cross this uterine cell membrane and pass through the cytoplasm and cross this nucleus. Inside the nucleus, it will form that hormone receptor complex. So once it is forming that hormone receptor complex, the genome gets converted into mRNA, and then it is translated to proteins. That proteins will show some leads to physiological responses that are like tissue growth and differentiation, like that. Steroid hormones will show action. Hormone receptor complex formed inside the cell. Here, that means this in steroid hormonal action, intracellular receptors are involved, whereas in case of peptide hormone action, membrane bound receptors are involved. Okay, so with this we completed that chemical coordination and integration.